Good day, everyone. Our topic for today is applied economics and how it solves economic issues and problems. Um, you can visit the link below where the reference for this topic. Now, for our core competency, utility and application of applied economics to solve economic issues and problems. John Robinson said that the purpose of studying economics is not to acquire a set of ready-made answers to economic questions, but to learn how to avoid being deceived by economists. This statement suggests that the goal of learning economics is not just to memorize solutions to economic problems, but rather to understand how not to be misled by economists. Revisiting economic issues and problems. For a brief introduction, in the article of Forbes Custom 2017, the Philippines, Asia's new economic powerhouse. The Philippine economy has transformed into one of Asia's most dynamic economies on the back of fast-paced gross domestic product or GDP growth. www.forbes.com. For the longest time, it has all the opportunities to sustain its growth and stability. However, due to the problem on pandemic at present, it is suffering from economic depression. The issue of scarcity on supply due to limited resources but unlimited wants is the ultimate economic problem. The scarcity implies a limited quantity of resources needed in production. Guru S 2020 mentioned the main issues on production include the products to produce, how to produce these products and for whom to produce the product and how to make the economy grow. Economics therefore is concerned with the allocation of resources to make the most efficient use of these resources. The four basic economic problems, or what are the current economic problems in the Philippines? We have four. The first one is what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce, and lastly, what provision or laws should be made for economic growth. It In this article of Guru S 2020, basic central problem faced by an economy, there are basic problems commonly to all economies in terms of production. Common to all countries is the problem on scarcity. This arises because the resources are limited and have alternative uses. These problems gives rise to four basic problems of an economy. In this topic, we will look into the basic problems of what to produce, whom to produce, how to produce, and what provision and production for economic growth. As we said earlier, economics can be tool to solve these economic problems. Economists formulate strategic solution to economize the problems such as economic growth or the ability to produce goods and services, reduce expectation or the ability to reduce our wants, such as lessening consumptions, and improve the use of resources or the capacity to use our existing resources wisely. The four basic economic problems often referred to as the fundamental economic question revolve around the allocation of scarce resources to satisfy unlimited human wants. These fundamental questions are what to produce. If there is a scarcity of goods in a society, the firms have to make wise decision on what goods or services should be produced and determine the quantity produced. The allocation of resources among different goods and services. It involves deciding which goods and service should be produced to best satisfy society's needs and wants. Choices must be made about the types and quantities of goods and services to produce given limited resources. Next, how to produce. The production of goods or services needs effective methods and process. It involves decision about most efficient and cost-effective ways to produce goods and services. Factors such as labor, technology, capital, and natural resources are considered when determining production methods. Third, for whom to produce. The society would always consider immediate beneficiary of goods. It involves decisions about who gets to consume the goods and services that are produced. Factors such as income, wealth, and societal priorities influence how goods and services are distributed among different segments of the population. And last, what provisions or laws should be made for economic growth? A society uses all its resources for current consumptions. Promoting economic growth often involves a combination of policies and legal frameworks that create a conducive environment for businesses, innovation, and investment, while specific provisions and laws may be vary by provision that can contribute to economic growth, include property rights protection, contract enforcement, rule of law, regulatory framework, tax policies, infrastructure development, education and labor laws, competition policies, financial system regulation, trade policies, innovation and technology policies. It is important to note that effectiveness of these provisions depends on their implementation and enforcement. Additionally, each country's specific context and challenges may require require tailored approaches to address unique circumstances. Regular reviews and adjustment to legal framework are necessary to adapt changing economic conditions and global trends. Applied economics is helpful in three reasons. First, assists in removing any attempts to make the issue appear better or worse than it is. It helps provide an unbiased and accurate view of an issue by preventing any efforts to make it seem better or worse than it actually is. Second, determines what reasonable actions that can be performed to improve the current economic position. It helps figure out practically steps that can be taken to make the current economic situation better. And last, can provide insightful instruction on how to prevent the recurrence of a bad scenario or at very least lessen its effects. It offers valuable guidance on how to avoid the repetition of a negative situation or at the very least minimize its impact by providing insightful instructions and strategies. Certainly, let's explore how microeconomic issues relate to the specific topics of poverty, social inequality, monopoly, and environmental issues. First, we have poverty. Microeconomics addresses poverty at the individual and household levels, examining factors such as an income, education, and access to resources. It analyzes how government policies, labor, market conditions, and social programs impact poverty rates and income distribution. Second, social inequality. Microeconomics investigates the causes and consequences of social inequality, considering factors like wage differentials, discrimination, and access to opportunities, and explores how market forces and government interventions influence the distribution of wealth and income among individuals. Third, monopoly. The study of monopoly is a microeconomic concern related to market structures. Microeconomics examines how a single firm dominating a market can affect prices, output, and consumer welfare. It explores the consequences of limited competition and potential remedies such as an antitrust regulation. And last, environmental issues. Microeconomics plays a role in analyzing environmental problems by examining how individual and firm behavior impacts the environment. It explores topics like externalities, for example, pollution, the tragedy of the commons, and the role of incentive and regulations in promoting sustainable practices. In summary, microeconomics provides insights into specific mechanisms and behaviors that contribute to or address this broader societal issue, while macroeconomic looks at the economy as a whole. Microeconomics allows us to understand the decisions and interactions of individuals agents and how they collectively shape outcomes related to poverty, social inequality, monopoly, and environmental constraints. Policymakers often use microeconomic principles to design targeted interventions and regulations aimed at addressing these challenges at more granular level. Macroeconomic focuses on broader aspects of the economy, examining aggregates such as national income, employment, inflation, and overall economic performance. Here's how macroeconomic principles relate to the specific topics of recessions, unemployment, inflation, and trade deficit. Trade deficit. Recession. Macroeconomics study recessions as periods of economic decline characterized by a decrease in economic activity, falling GDP, and rising unemployment. Analysts use various macroeconomic indicators to identify and measure recessions such as GDP, growth rates, investment levels, and consumer spending patterns. Unemployment. Unemployment is a key macroeconomic indicator that reflects the percentage of the labor force without jobs. Macroeconomics explores the causes and consequences of unemployment, including cyclical, structural, and frictional factors. Policymakers use macroeconomic tools to address unemployment, such as fiscal and monetary policies to stimulate economic growth. Next, inflation. Inflation, the general increase in the price level of goods and services over time. It is macroeconomic concern. Macroeconomics examine the causes of inflations, including demand pull and cost push factors, central banks use monetary policy to control inflation rates within target ranges, aiming for price stability while supporting economic growth. And last, trade deficit. Macroeconomic analysis trade deficits, which occur when a country's imports exceed its exports. It explores the impact of trade imbalances on nations' overall economic health, employment, and exchange rates. Macroeconomic policies may address trade deficit by focusing on factors like exchange rate adjustments, exports promotion, or addressing structural issue in the economy. Understanding these macroeconomic concepts is essential for policymakers, economists, and business to make informed decisions and develop strategies to promote economic stability and growth. Macroeconomic principles provide a framework for assessing the health of an economy and formulating policies to address challenges related to recession, unemployment, inflation, trade imbalances. By offering knowledge about how individuals, businesses, and governments behave, applied economics help to solve economic problems. As a result, economic players may be able to decide more wisely and resolve issues. By understanding how people, businesses, and government act helps to solve economic problems, enabling better decision and effective issue resolution for everyone involved. The fundamental ideas of applied economics and how they are used to address current challenges in the economy can be used as starting point for finding solution. When applied to real-world problems, provide a starting point for finding solution to current economic challenges. The use of economic can assist us in understanding the cause of pressing social issues like child abuse, drug addiction, violent crime, and hunger and poverty. Economics help us understand why pressing social issues such as abuse, drug addiction, violent crime, and hunger and poverty occur and what factors contribute to them. Economics can help us understand the underlying causes of urgent social problems. Additionally, it will clarify why early attempts to address these issues failed and assist us in developing fresh, more potent remedies. Furthermore, it will help us understand why previous efforts to solve these problems didn't work and guide us in creating new and more effective solutions. The creation of socio-economic effect assessment of a company initiative may now occur to a student as a concept. Students might now understand the idea of creating a socio-economic impact assessment for a company initiative. For many years, many who want to work in businesses have chosen economics as their major in college, but it has also gained popularity among those pursuing careers in law, medicine, engineering, politics, international relations, and other fields. People aspiring to work in business have chosen economics as their college major, but it has also become popular among those pursuing career in law, medicine, engineering, politics, international relations, and other fields. And last, this makes sense because professionals in each of these disciplines frequently deal with economic problems. This is logical because the professionals in each of these fields often deal with issues related to economics. That's all for today about the four basic economic problem or basic economic problem and how applied economics solve economic problems. Thank you.